Hi everyone, welcome back to Horse Patterns. In today's video, we're exploring the intriguing concept of rich domain objects in software development and why they play a crucial role in building better, more maintainable applications. By the end of this video, you'll understand what they are, how they differ from anemic objects, and why they're essential for building robust and readable applications. Let's jump right in. So, what are rich domain objects? A rich domain object is a fundamental part of the domain-driven design paradigm. These objects encapsulate not just data, but also the behavior associated with that data. In simpler terms, they combine state and operations in a single unit. Now, let's break down the difference between rich domain objects and their counterpart, anemic domain objects. Rich objects not only store data, but also provide meaningful methods to manipulate that data. As such, business rules and logic are contained within the object. The athlete class is a rich domain object that encapsulates business rules and behaviors. It uses the create method for controlled initialization and ensures valid states through strict encapsulation. The change category method dynamically updates age and category based on business rules, keeping the object consistent. With validation like positive age enforcement and dynamic category assignment, this class remains flexible and future-proof. The athlete class is a prime example of clean design and powerful business-driven methods. Anemic objects are essentially simplified structs, or DTOs. They hold data but lack meaningful behavior. Business logic resides outside these objects, often in services or procedural code. Let's take a look at an example. The athlete entity class is an anemic object designed for database persistence. It focuses on storing and retrieving data, with fields like ID, athlete ID, name, and age. Unlike rich domain objects, it contains no business logic, serving purely as a simple, structured data container for persistence operations. This class ensures clean separation between the domain and infrastructure layers. So why do rich domain objects matter? Clearer business logic. All rules and operations are tied to the object they're related to, making the code easier to understand. Reduced coupling. By keeping logic within the object, you reduce dependencies between services or layers. Flexibility. When objects encapsulate behavior, they can evolve independently, which helps as your application grows. Improved reusability. A rich object can be reused in various contexts without rewriting its logic. However, rich domain objects aren't always the right choice. For simpler applications, anemic objects might suffice and be easier to implement. When should you actually use rich domain objects? If your application has complex business logic, needs high maintainability and scalability, or if domain-driven design principles are a priority, then you should definitely consider using rich domain objects. Here's a quick example from my project showing how rich domain objects work in action. Let's check it out. Let's quickly run a simple test and see how the application behaves. This test highlights the relationship between the rich domain logic and expected behavior. It verifies that the change category method in the athlete class dynamically applies business rules to update the athlete's category based on age, ensuring that the domain logic is correctly encapsulated and consistently applied. To sum it up, rich domain objects are powerful tools for managing complexity in software development. They provide a clear structure by combining data and behavior, making your code more robust, maintainable, and testable. While they might require more upfront effort, the long-term benefits are often worth it. Let me know in the comments if you've used rich domain objects in your projects and how they've worked for you. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.